Nope. Yep. Nope. Yep.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of DFV. I am Blak Cinephile, aka Ant.
I am Brad, still aka Brad.
Still aka Brad. And before we start, folks, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Gently push the like button. You don't have to smash it. It didn't do anything wrong to anybody.
I want you to break your computer hitting that like button. And then send the bill to Blak Cinephile over here.
See, this is why Brad is Brad. He just has to make everything difficult. He wears the same shirt, calls himself Brad, aka Brad. He's just Brad.
No, we're recording this on a different day. I'm actually wearing a different shirt this time.
Oh, okay, if you say so. We're an animated bunch, and speaking of animated, today we got the Bob's Burgers movie versus the Mitchells and the Machines. The Mitchells versus the Machines.
Versus the Bob's Burgers movie, huh?
Yep. I think we talked about the Mitchells once before, didn't we?
I mentioned it back when we were talking about our top movies from 2021, because this one made my list. But I don't know. I think today we should probably talk about Mitchells versus the Machines versus Ron's Gone Wrong.
Oh, wow. I'm on the wrong episode. My bad.
I mean, we could always do a Simpsons movie versus Ron Goes Wrong later if you want.
We probably could. It probably would be a great mix up. All right, Ron's Gone Wrong. No problem. Nah, man. I'm still reeling from Bob's Burgers a little bit, so that's why I thought we were doing Bob's Burgers.
Yeah. Did you start watching the show at all, or?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
But I may watch it soon.
It's a good kind of sit down, just watch it, or even like a background kind of show.
Just chill.
Yeah,
Just chill
it's a
and
very
watch it.
relaxed show. It's got that same like family sitcom kind of vibe where if you miss an episode, you're not missing anything. You could jump in any season, any episode. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's what I hear. Like I hear, there's a reason it's in syndication. You could really watch any episode. It's not like highly serialized. I mean, yeah, that's what I hear. I may get into it one day. I mean, the movie more or less did sell me. So we'll see.
Okay.
Look, man, I know we usually don't go chronological around here, but do you think we should do it on this one?
You know what? I was thinking about that earlier, and I think it just kind of makes sense for us to do chronological in this one.
Makes sense. All right. So which one we rolling with first?
So first off, that gives us the Mitchells versus the Machines. I'll take the reins on this one.
Okay.
So taking place in Kentwood, Michigan, home, Michigan, of course, being where we're both from. So we got some roots in this one to start off with. But taking place in Kentwood, Michigan, we are introduced to the Mitchell family, consisting of Katie Mitchell, who is our main antagonist, along with Rick Mitchell, Linda Mitchell, and Aaron Mitchell. Rick Mitchell being her father, Linda being her mother, and Aaron being her younger brother.
Mm-hmm.
So Katie is an aspiring filmmaker who is about to go off to college, leaving the house and everything like that. Of course, she has a very loving family who cares about her and everything. The father is worried that with her moving away to college to become a filmmaker, it's going to put more of a strain on their relationship as they've kind of grown apart, as he's very hands-on, naturist and everything, and she's living in a new digital age. So
they couldn't be any different.
Right. They grew up in different ages. He doesn't know how to relate to her. She doesn't know how to relate to him. So they've kind of separated there, but they're still a loving family. But to try and rekindle it before she goes on to go through college and everything, he decides to make it a road trip to drop her off at college instead of her just taking a plane ride there. On this road trip, though, a tech company, basically the Apple of this universe, named Pal, creates a new AI robot helper to do everything for you, which of course begins to turn evil and starts to ravage the world, collecting all humans to send them into space because they feel like humans have no redeeming qualities. That is the synopsis of this movie.
Pretty much. Hey, you want to hear something random? And I'm thinking we should almost call this episode this. I know it would mess up the algorithm because nobody will know what we're talking about. But did you notice Olivia Colman is in both of these films?
Is she really?
Yes, Olivia Colman, Academy Award winner. She did win an Academy Award, right? Yeah, for The Favorite. I forgot. Yeah, she plays the evil phone in Mitchell's versus the Machines, and she plays the wacko grandmother in Ron's Gone Wrong.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that.
I'm gonna throw you a pitch. Let me know what you think. Olivia Colman animation battle for the subtitle of this episode.
Okay, I can get behind it.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it wouldn't be the most obscure subtitle we've thrown on an episode.
I thought I was going to hear some pushback, but hey, let's do it. No regrets.
I'm all for it.
I'm already uploading the title right now, by the way. So there's no going back now.
You're penning it into the system.
Into YT.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, straight off the top, I love this movie. It's just a great family film. I think I told you that last time we talked, but I like how the main characters are so imperfect. You know, usually the protagonist does have some type of flaw, but these their flaw is that they really are like weird and imperfect. Like they're really not the perfect family, but that gives them
they're the neighbors that you know of, but you don't talk to. Basically,
you just go about your way. Don't say nothing to them. Just kind of wave and get walking. And
like when you see them outside, you start walking a little bit faster.
And from a storytelling aspect, that makes them the perfect people to go against something this dominating and evil. Because it's like, how are they gonna save the day? And I love how the film just pulls that hat trick off.
Yeah, I love how this movie even flips some of like the kind of TV tropes that these kind of movies have, where it's like, how are we going to defeat it using the power of love and friendship? And the computer even goes, don't you dare say that humans are worth redeeming because of some love or some stupid thing like that.
Right. And then the guy kicks him in the crotch.
Oh yeah. I love that scene. It's so great. Right before it's like, hold on, let me treat you like you've been, because this is coming from a cell phone. It's like, let me treat you the way you've been treating me. Poke, poke, swipe, swipe, swipe. Zoom in, zoom out, zoom in.
If you think about the way you treat your cell phone every day, you're like, yeah, I do treat it like that.
It's accurate.
I throw it around.
Yeah. I even love one of Katie's lines when she realizes they're going up against like an evil AI cell phone is, I've broken 8 phones in my lifetime already, but you're going to be the first one I break on purpose.
I just love how the simplest thing happens to end all the madness. They throw her in a glass of water.
Yes.
I just love how simple it is. Like, wow, this movie would have been over way earlier if that just happened way before.
Yeah, there's this huge climactic battle, and the way that they end up defeating it is she falls into a glass of water next to a swimming pool.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, this movie is, I gotta say, the humor is on point 100%. They use the animation style to its benefit. They use the fact that they have the main character as a filmmaker who does all these quirky little YouTube videos with, bad green screen, cardboard cutout, like backgrounds and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And they use that to full effect within the entire movie to kind of do these splash pages to kind of exemplify from her mindset how everything's going. And the jokes, especially with the pug, are absolutely brilliant. I loved every moment. Like I said prior in our 2021 best of podcast, the pug is definitely one of the better parts of this, who is actually voiced by Doug the Pug.
Yeah, I remember, dude, I don't know why I'm so pissed about that. Like, a dog got an actual speaking role, man. I don't know why I'm pissed. I'm like,
it's not a speaking role per se.
It is the licking of the tongue. He's making dogs. He has dog speaking roles, and I'm like, Oh, really? How much did his owners get paid for that? How much did they get paid? I want to know how much they got paid for this movie.
You know what I want to know now? I want to know
What?
if Doug the Pug made more than Alan Tudyk in making animals noises.
Alan Tudyk. I know
he did the rooster in Moana.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I want to know that too. Because hey, you know what they'll say? Well, he actually is a dog, so deserves a more fair wage. Deserves a more fair wage.
Dogs have rights too,
Right. They fit into the Diversity Hollywood Initiative.
You know what? Yeah, there we go. I want to know who made more on this movie, Doug the Pug or Conan O'Brien?
Conan O'Brien was
he voiced
robot.
The pilot. The robot pilot that was like telling them
the
about
video.
Yeah.
Well, that was a small role compared to the pug being throughout the whole
I know,
movie.
but it's still Conan O'Brien. So who did they pay more for?
Conan's a good guy. He probably just did out the kindness of his heart. He probably loves animation. He's a Simpsons writer.
That's true.
We'll see. But yeah, man, I love all the characters, dude. I love the voices. I feel like everyone does their role well. The mother is like just a great kooky mom. The father is just a great like woodsman that just hates technology. I just love all the cutaways with him trying to figure out how to do Amazon. He's like, "Whoa, what happened? What's going on?
Oh yeah,
I don't know what's going on." And then she says, "Just hit delete. I just ordered 13 sandals. What's going on?"
No, I just ordered 12 Swiffers on Amazon.
Right. Yeah, man, I love the. I still have a problem with the son's voice. Like it's like I like the son as a character, but I feel like who's my man, Mike Rianda, who I think wrote and directed this, right?
Yeah, he was the writer and director of the movie.
I don't think he voiced the son well. It made it seem like a grown man. Like I can take Abby Jacobson as Katie because it made her. She kind of sounds like a teenager a little bit. Aaron sounded like Mike. I don't know how Mike is in real life, but he sounded like a grown man.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with you there. But at the same time, Katie's also, I think, 18 in this movie because she's going off to college. So she kind of already would sound kind of closer to adult.
She's fine. It was just Aaron that sounded off to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. This movie is great. I even like the villain, how it's a cell phone is the villain of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of getting rid of all humanity. There's so many jokes they can make with that, and they pull them all out, and it's glorious because you would think at a point this would get too kind of meta in its humor and everything, but it didn't feel like it got old at all.
It plays it just right. It really plays it just right. I gotta say, I didn't recognize Eric Andre's voice with the Dr. Mark Coleman.
The lead tech.
Yeah, I didn't notice him at first, and I was like, when I thought back, and I was like, you know what, that kind of does sound like Eric a little bit.
Yeah, it's hard to recognize his voice when he's not screaming "Bird Up" or "Legalize Ranch."
Yeah, when he's not being a madman, so to speak.
Right.
I look at it as every animated or straight role he takes, he looks for that one moment in the script where the guy goes crazy. He goes, okay, here's my moment to shine.
Yeah.
I'll play it straight until this point, and then, he turns into regular Eric Andre.
Yeah, the entire voice cast of this one knocked it out of the park. You had Fred Armisen, Beck Bennett, playing some of the robots as well. Which I love the defective robots.
Yeah, I didn't know Beck at first. I know I see he was on SNL. I didn't know him when I watched this movie. I was like, oh, okay. The funny moment with the robots. I love this funny random moment when after the day is saved and everybody's got together, the robots asked them like, hey, why did you save us? Like, and she was like, oh, I just saved it because it was the right thing to do. And then better that than avoid death. And then one of the robots goes, what's death? And then you hear like this weird sound in the music score. She goes, I will just talk about that later.
Yeah.
That was just such a weird moment.
Yeah, I love how even at the end, when they just defeat all the robots and stuff, those two survive, and they're like, "How did you guys survive? Shouldn't you be like decommissioned now?" And they're like, "Our defects saved us."
Right. I was about to say something. I forgot. It was something that happened towards the end that I wanted to comment on. It'll come back to me. So what's your main pull from this movie? Like, what do you like so much about the storyline? Because
So
I go ahead.
for this one, first off, it's relatable characters put into a crazy scenario.
Mm-hmm.
I always love it when you can actually like understand the perspective of every character in a movie. And this one, each character feels real. They have their flaws, they have their characteristics, and it's easy to tell exactly what each one is going to do in a situation. And they do exactly that. Its movie isn't trying to subvert your expectations. It's not trying to be like, oh, look, these people can be completely different, because even when they're trying to get out of their, safe zone, I want to kind of say, they have trouble with it. You have Katie showing trouble trying to relate with her father, even though she kind of wants to. She doesn't know how at the same time. She's a teenager. Then you have Rick, who's trying to like what Katie likes, but he still doesn't understand it. He thinks that it's not pointless, but he's afraid that she's going to get hurt in the process of pursuing this dream, because he doesn't understand it. He doesn't know anything about it. It's out of his realm. So he wants to take the more protective route than go, head first into this world that makes no sense to him. Then you just have Aaron, who just loves dinosaurs, and it's like, yeah, that's the kid thing. That's there's nothing strange about his, fascination with it.
Yeah, he just straight up loves dinosaurs. And I love how when he goes up to the man that works at the store off screen, he's like, excuse me, this place is not accurate. And I love how the father laughs like, wow, that guy's gonna have a ball hearing about Jurassic
the
species,
Jurassic era.
Jurassic era and all that. Dude, I love the furry scene.
Oh yeah, the Furbies were fantastic.
The Furbies, I said furries. The Furbies.
Yeah, that's a different movie entirely that you're talking about. We're talking about the Mitchells versus the Machines still.
I know. I just got the names mixed up, but yeah, the Furby scene was pretty great.
Yeah, I love that they actually brought the Furbies back for this movie, because even when Aaron goes, "What are those?" and you can see just the terror on the parents' eyes because they remember those. It's wonderful how they made Furbies terrifying.
Yeah, because my thing was I was expecting them to turn into full gremlins. Like somebody would spill some water on them and then all of a sudden, but they just kept them as Furbies. But I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I love that they still use the same like Furby speak for their language, and they just did subtitles on the bottom to show what they were saying. And it was all like, we must awaken the chosen one, you will repent for your sin, like all this crazy stuff.
That had me rolling, man.
Oh yeah.
That part had me rolling. Like the big Furby came out doing the slow steps. That was hilarious to me.
Oh, even like right before that, when they're in like the PAL store and stuff, and like just outside the store, there's a toaster, and they just walk up to it, and then it sprouts one piece of toast that just says "You're toast," and the father's like, "Oh yeah, that's cute. That's a good joke right there."
I like the Roombas that chase after the sun, but then they fall down the stairs like, this is embarrassing. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Yeah. That's hilarious. I mean, I'm pretty much sold on what I gotta say about this one. Would you got anything else to add?
I'm trying to think, but this is just one of those movies that I can't think of any grievances with it. So all I can do is just praise this movie on like every regard, because the animation style I absolutely love, where it has that it's 3D animation, but it looks hand drawn. It's almost taking the same animation style that they use for Into the Spider-Verse and kind of rolling with that, but with a little bit lighter on the comic book kind of feel to it. And the humor is on point. The writing is good. The characters are good. I love this movie.
The best, I want to say one thing before we rate this. The best thing I liked was the contrast between the two families. So there's the perfect family played by John Legend and Chrissy Teigen, which I didn't know until today. The Posies.
Mm-hmm.
When they escape from the dinosaur place, they go Posies unite on one, and then they do it like so synchronized and coordinated that they get into the car so smoothly and drive off. And then the Mitchells are like, okay, Mitchell, I'm sorry, you go? No, you go. Mitchell's, I love you. Let's go. Yeah. And then they do it just so poorly.
Yeah, they try and copy them.
Right. He gets on his wife's back and she falls like, no. And he's so heavy. That made me roll, man. I would have loved this movie in theaters.
Oh, yeah. I'm almost sad that this one didn't come to theaters because this was a Netflix movie. So anybody that hasn't seen this movie, it's on Netflix right now. Go see it. It's well worth the time, especially if you have a family. It's a very family-friendly movie.
You know what? I don't know what it was, man. Something just told me to click on this movie. I know my wife and I, we set up a date night, and I was like, well, I know she likes cartoons, and I know Brad told me about this movie. So one day we just put it on, and I was like, wow, that was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So this gave me a good excuse to watch this again, and I had a great time.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I give it a 4.5, man.
This one's a 5 out of 5 from me. I literally can't think of a single grievance with this movie.
It's Aaron's voice, man. I can't do Aaron's voice, dude. I just can't do it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a slight grievance. I'm not going to give it cool points because it's in Michigan, but 4.5 for me.
Oh, see, I didn't even calculate cool points into this. This is a 5.2 out of 5.
Okay. See we're up in the ante, huh? See what I mean, folks? He just likes to do his own thing.
Yeah.
I thought I was in the wrong for saying Bob's Burgers in the beginning, but this guy, he just goes with an extra 0.2.
Well, it's in Michigan. You got to give it 2 points for Michigan.
Come on, man. Who do you think you are?
Got to play to the crowd, man.
Right. All right, man. Ready to move on?
Yes.
All right. For our next Olivia Colman animated twofer, we got Ron's Gone Wrong. And this is a 20th Century Fox Disney animated film. Pretty much, dude, I love how synchronized this was. Did you plan this? Because these are kind of like the same movies in a way. Did you know that? So
this was the first time that I've seen Ron Goes Wrong, but I knew that it kind of had the same don't take technology for granted, or don't let technology kind of overrule your life kind of message for kids.
Right.
Which honestly, it's not that hard to find a movie that has that same message, especially family friendly movies. Like almost, I don't want to like throw ballpark numbers out there, but enough of them have come out that this is a trope of a movie style now, of the don't let technology run your life kind of thing.
I know, because I initially thought we were gonna do Big Hero 6 versus Ron Goes Wrong, because I hadn't seen either of them, but I know they both deal with somebody that has like a robotic pet or a robotic companion. But when you did Mitchells versus the Machines, I said, oh, that's different. But then I watched both of them. I said, oh wow, this does connect better. So basically, what this deals with is a young boy whose name is Barney. He lives in he goes to a middle school, and around this time there's this creation by this tech company called Bubble, which is like the Apple in this movie. They create this thing called the Bebot, who is like a robot buddy for every kid, who helps the kid find friends, become more engaging on social media. It can do anything they want. It's like carrying around your own streaming device. It's like carrying around your cell phone, but it can do more things. It can play games for you. It can get your Instagram live videos started. It's basically everything you ever want. It's a skateboard too. It's just a great friend. Mm-hmm. So Barney, he lives on a farm with his grandma and his dad. His mom is deceased. And Barney's a little poor, and Barney has no friends, and Barney is he's kind of all alone. And, you know, he sees everybody at school with a B-bot except him. He's the only one on the shelf that doesn't even have a name place right there. He had to write his own name and put it there. So one day on his birthday, when his dad and grandma realized that nobody came to his birthday because the last one a few years ago didn't go so well.
Basically, they caught the kitchen on fire after doing like pin the tail on the goat and, you know, had sausages in the piñata.
Right.
Overall, it was not a birthday party.
It was embarrassing.
Right. Yeah.
It was embarrassing. So finally, his dad says, okay, I'm going to get him one of those B-bot things. He goes to the store and they can't get a new one because it's like a 3-month wait. So he sees a defective one get dropped off. And he surprises his son with that. And long story short, the B-bot is defective. So the B-bot isn't as high tech as anyone else is. He's pretty much a naked B-bot with no settings. And I like how the movie winks to it in the beginning when he like falls, because like I love how this film plays with destiny. In that one moment where Barney causes the B-bot to fall on the ground when the delivery truck is coming, and it just so happens that becomes his B-bot later in the film. But anyway, the B-bot is just defective. And the B-bot's name it's Ron, but it's like Ron with a bunch of numbers and letters after it too. That's like his serial number, right?
Basically, it was Ron B something or another, a bunch of random characters.
You want me to read the whole thing out for you?
Oh, do you have it in front of you?
Ron B1NT5CAT5CO. So we just gonna call him Ron from now on. But
is that Ron Tabasco?
Ronnie Takatsko. I'm not
Takatsko. Okay.
I don't know. But anyway, his name is Ron. So anyway, Barney tries to figure out what he can do with Ron, try to see if he can return him. But he learns that even though Ron is defective, Ron still has a soul and can become probably one of the best friends Barney ever had in life. Through his malfunction, because Barney himself is socially awkward, so he kind of has a social malfunction, and Ron has a social malfunction. And I love how that friendship starts. But long story short, Ron gets into some misadventures that cause his company that created him bubble to try to track him down, and basically Barney just tries to keep him safe. And that's the bare bones plot, man. Dude, I gotta let you know something, man. This movie really hit me in the feels. Like, I really like this movie.
This one has some tearjerker moments. It has some pretty cheap ones, but it has some tearjerker moments.
I would never expect a Disney movie to hit me like this. Like, I know Pixar is a different type of level, but a Disney movie, it's been a while since a Disney movie got me to this point where you know, there was a few moments where I was chopping some onions, man. And it got me, man, especially in the end. It really got me, because you kind of hope in middle school that you had a Ron, you know what I'm saying? Someone who's annoying, but is the most loyal friend you could ever have. You know, he may be different to others, but you're different, and that makes you two the best of friends, man. Like, yeah, man, this movie is great, dude. So where we want to start here?
So
go ahead.
Let's start off near the beginning of this one. First off, we have Barney's family, because he has his father, voiced by Ed Helms, and then the grandmother, voiced by the focus of the podcast, Olivia Colman.
Star of the movie. Right.
So first off, the family is great. I love how, you know, his grandmother is like this Russian born woman that, you know, is set in her ways of Russia, and, you know, has this funky music she listens to. She does her home cookings, you know, chicken feet and stuff like that. Things that most kids are like, oh, that's weird. But to her, it's normal. And as to Barney, it's normal, but to other kids around him, it's seen as strange, and, you know, makes him the weird outcast kid. Then you have the father, who runs a little shop online where he makes little trinkets and things, like hats with you know, lights and pinwheels on them, or little like gnomes that'll hold your cell phone and like bob up and down.
thought he was a telemarketer. I didn't know he was an actual inventor.
Yeah, he was creating that stuff
That makes it
because he was
worse.
selling it to companies to like put into stores.
That makes it worse, man. I thought he was a telemarketer working from home. He created that stuff.
Yeah, he created those useless items that he was trying to peddle off.
Wow. Okay. Hey, this is what I mean, man. You got to make the most imperfect people in order to get sympathy.
Right. And I love it. When he's introduced to Ron, he's, best friend right out of the box. And he keeps stealing the sticker and putting it like on his face, I am
Right.
your best friend.
Dude, Zach Galifianakis killed that voice.
Oh,
yeah. He was a perfect Ron, dude.
See, I didn't even know it was Zach Galifianakis until I was looking it up afterwards. Like when the credits started rolling, it was like Zach Galifianakis is Ron. And I was like, hold on. And I had to like look it up online to confirm that, it was the Zach Galifianakis and it wasn't just somebody else named Zach Galifianakis.
Mm-hmm.
And he knocked it out. I absolutely loved him as Ron. He had real personality as a robotic voice that was basically meant to take everything literally. Yeah,
dude, they're just a perfect odd couple. And you know what I like about this film? I like the interactions with other kids because it gives me more of a clue into how Barney is as a character. I like how, and really, he's kind of like us as the surrogate audience member. You see someone like Savannah who wants to be an aspiring vlogger. Her beatbot follows her around, recording her all day. You got someone like Rich who is like annoying, who continually pranks people because he wants to be famous from his pranks. And always his beatbot is always recording him and his stupid friends. You got Ava who loves science, who wants to starts a science group that doesn't have that many followers, but it's what she loves, and her beatbot follows her around with that. And I like how Barney takes in all these people, and he himself is looking for a friend, but it's like it looks like everybody doesn't have friends, but it's kind of like in their own zone. Like everybody feels like they're the one that have friends other than Barney, but their friends aren't real. They're likes and follows through their beatbots.
Yeah, it definitely takes the kind of trope of modern day media, kind of social media dependency, and it blows it up times 1,000, and it feels right. It doesn't even feel like these people are boxed into these roles, because these are real roles that people feel like they need to be in. It's right. I'm the glamour, I'm famous for being famous, look at me on Instagram, or the people that are just pranking, doing the stupidest things and being like, oh, it's a prank, it's funny, if I lose this, I lose my personality, this is all I have. You have the person that's just worried about being the top scorer on every game possible, and you have these personalities, and they're real personalities out there that people feel like if they can't make it on whatever the social media app is at that time, Instagram, TikTok's the new one that everybody's like clamoring to. If you can't make it on there, you're a nobody. So It's all about getting these views and these likes and everything like that. And this movie does that message in kind of a creative way.
Man, I can't imagine what that would be like if we were in high school. I know when I was in high school, we had Facebook, and I think Twitter was just then starting to become kind of famous and kind of like not famous, but kind of popular. But the way it is now, man, with Instagram and TikTok, and there's just so much pressure on these kids who get sucked in by social media. It's sad, dude.
Oh yeah, I hate to be like, I don't want to get on like my grandpa, footstool here and be like, you kids and your technology, but it's insane how reliant on like being popular online has gone into like the psyche of kids now, to the point that like we have kids that feel like they're nothing because they only have like 100 followers on Instagram or something. And it's like, I couldn't imagine caring about that kind of thing. Like in my headspace, it doesn't matter to me, but I know to them, this is everything.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to us. But what I would say is like, dude, I don't think these kids these days go outside anymore. Like, I don't think they go outside. I don't think they play basketball. I don't think they hang out at the mall like that. From time to time, when I'm out with my wife at the mall, sometimes I see some kids hanging out, but not as many as you used to when you were a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I can tell from that because one of the greatest insults I've ever heard while playing games online was you need to go outside and touch grass. I've never laughed so hard while trying to play. No, not toward me. This was somebody else like saying this. Like I wasn't mic'd up playing the game. This was somebody else telling somebody because they were like having this battle of, oh my God, you're not doing much. You need to go outside and touch grass. And I was reeling from that.
You need to go outside and touch some grass. Oh, wow. Like, that's how you know these kids, because like you look at the streamers online too on YouTube, and they're some of them are really into the game. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get them. And some of them make fun of the other people who are really into the game. Like, it's like, dude, when's the last time you've seen sunlight?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Wow. Yeah, I know. And I don't mean to sidetrack here, but I remember when Nickelodeon used to have this thing called Day of Play.
Yes, where they would completely wipe the channel and it would just be that one thing saying, go outside and, see the sun.
Right. Yeah. And some days I'll be like, you know what? I'll wait this out. I know this ain't gonna be long.
Yeah.
I'll wait out this whole message until they get back to iCarly or SpongeBob. I'm not going outside today.
Yeah. TV, you can't tell me what to do. Cartoon Network, what are you playing today?
You heard the story of when Cartoon Network aired their ad on Nickelodeon?
Yes. I love that ad. I wish I would have seen that live. That was one of the things that somebody like posted online after the fact. Right. And I was like, there's no way this is real. And then looking it up, it's like, this is real. It's like, damn, I would have loved to have seen that live. My child brain would have exploded seeing Edda and Eddie commercial on Nickelodeon.
Right, for sure. All right, back to the movie. So yeah, they everybody kind of lives in their own bubble, which is kind of the name of the company, which I thought was pretty clever. With their B-bot. So with Ron, Barney tries his best to try to get him to be like a good B-bot. And I love their relationship. Like, it really feels like a genuine friendship. Like whoever played the kid, Jack Dylan Grazer, he does a great job voicing Barney's laugh. Like when he talks to Ron and he says, only give me 6 feet when you got to be within 6 feet when you're walking near me. And then Ron would say something funny, and then Barney would be like, "No, man, that's not what I mean." Like, I like how he gave a natural laugh, like Ron was like his actual buddy.
Yeah, the best part is they definitely play with the trope of like the Ron takes everything literally kind of thing a little bit too far. You need to be within 6 feet of me unless I'm having a bad day. And then there's a time where Ron starts wandering off and he goes, "What are you doing? You're supposed to be within 6 feet of me, not when you're having a bad day."
Yeah.
I love the board because another like moment of this is where Barney is trying to make Ron his best friend and just treating him as one of these buddies where they don't have a personality or anything like that. It's like, no, you're supposed to be my best friend. And then later realizing Ron has a personality and going, you know what, no, we need to be each other's best friend. And it's like, oh, that's a cute message. And then they kept playing with that, and then all of a sudden I'm just sitting there cutting onions and I'm like, yeah, I gotta make these onions, man. It's just if I don't cut them now, it's never gonna get done. I gotta get through it.
I don't even know where I got the onions from. I just
they just appeared.
Just some emotional scenes came up and I just started cutting them, man. But I love how I love the first moment they fight where Barney was having a bad day and Ron was having a bad day, and Ron said, "I'm gonna walk away because you're having a bad day."
Yeah.
He says, well, you know what? Fine. And then they just keep saying fine, and then you hear him like bump into one trash can and falls out on the street. I love that, man.
Oh, I also loved how when he found out, he's made to make Barney friends. So he leaves the shed and to make Barney friends, and is sharing his food, which is toast, and sharing old photos of him and telling people to like it. And basically he's bringing like the tropes of social media into the real life, where this is Barney's breakfast. Do you like Barney's breakfast?
Right. Dude, I love that whole sequence out there in the playground. I love how he has the motorcycle dude.
Conspiracy theorist motorcycle dude.
The conspiracy theorist motorcycle dude. It was the old lady that just wanted to be left alone. Who was the third one?
There was the bird and then the baby.
The baby.
Oh, and then there was the homeless guy.
The baby. Oh, the homeless guy. Yeah, you're right. And I like how he introduces the old lady like she says she will be your friend if you just leave me alone. Like, because he's like mimicking how she was talking.
I'll do whatever you want, just leave me alone.
Right. And at first, my man was drinking I thought it was beer at first, because I got a little worried, because I was like, wow, they bringing beer into this movie, because that scene is so zany. But I like how the afterthought, the principal was like, what are those grown adults and the baby doing in the playground with artificial sweetener Coke?
Yeah.
I like that. But dude, I just love how everything cascades from that point in that one sequence that Rich finds out that Ron has all settings turned off. Like
all safety features, yeah.
All safety features turned off, and then he does it to his. And then his bumps into some other ones, and they do it to everybody else's, and it just cascades and cascades to the point where Rich creates like a monster out of all of the B-bots. And homegirl, what's her name? Savannah.
Yeah.
Savannah gets caught and gets pooped out, and then she becomes Poop Girl. And I love how just everyone kind of like falls from grace at that moment perfectly. Like, except for except for the science girl except for the science girl, but everyone kind of falls from grace at that moment. She becomes famous not for the reason she wants, but because out of humiliation.
Yeah, she becomes viral for being pooped out of a giant robot thing.
Right. Rich realizes that he's gone too far. My man Alex lost the game. A lot of people fall from grace at that moment, including Barney, who was basically kicked out of the school.
Yeah, he was expelled.
Yeah, like the principal just goes, how do I say this nicely? Get out! He's like, get out! Yeah, man. That's just a perfect, as they call it in scripts, Dark Night of the Soul, dude. I love that sequence. But dude, that ending, man. I mean, the climax really got me, dude.
Oh yeah.
And the moment where they're in the main hive, and we got to talk about
the Bubble HQ.
The Bubble HQ. And we got to talk about the creator and the COO soon, because they're pretty funny. They're pretty funny foils to each other. But I like how when Ron realizes like, oh, we can give everybody a friend. We could change all the B-bots to be like me and to be actual friends. And then I love it when it dawns on Barney and Ron's like, but I can't stay. I gotta go. Like, I gotta upload myself in order to get this done. And Barney's like, I don't understand. He's like, I have to go. Like, I have to go. Mm-hmm. And yeah, man, the onion started being cut at that moment, because I was like, oh no, but you're his friend.
Yeah. Like, it's almost like the ending of the Iron Giant, where it's you stay, I go.
Yeah, man. And you listen, I didn't expect to be that. That's what I'm telling you, man. I didn't expect to be that attached to these characters, but I was just like, nah, man. Ron, don't leave. Don't leave him, man. He needs you.
You're all he has.
Right, because I really got upset. Like, how this movie gonna do this to us, man? This dude just got a friend. But I like how at the end of the day, it gains him more friends that he already had, but just lost through time.
Right, because it takes all these people out of these bubbles that they were in because of their B-bots, their buddy bots. And as a result, he starts communicating with people again and talking with people and these old friends he has. So, yeah, but at the same time, I love how did that like emotional impact moment of, you know, he lost Ron. And then there wasn't this moment where Ron comes back into one of the B-bots or something, because a lot of movies would pull that.
It stuck to its guns. I kind of do wish that happened though. I kind of wanted him to come off the assembly line like, here I am, Barney, within 6 feet, and I would have been like, yes.
Yeah.
That didn't happen, and I was like, all right, it stuck to its guns.
I gotta appreciate that it stuck to its guns. For most kids movies, you don't see it do that. Typically, it, you know, will go around and be like, no, I was fine the entire time. You know, even though I sacrificed everything, it really wasn't a sacrifice at all. This one, it was still a legitimate sacrifice. And it was a sacrifice that was not only, you know, for Barney, but it was a sacrifice for all the kids that had B-bots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was pretty emotional, man. But I like how in the end, all the kids are kind of going through what Barney went through, and like when they come out of class, they go like, "Oh man, what are they gonna do today? What crazy adventure they gonna go on today?"
Oh yeah.
And everybody that wasn't initially like matched to be friends based on the B-bots algorithms become friends. Like they become friends with the most unlikeliest of people. Like, hey, I'm not matched with him. So what? And then the B-bots start like high-fiving each other, and then the two kids start high-fiving each other. Like, I like that.
Oh, and then you still have the one B-bot that's running around throwing sticky notes on everybody. One friend added, new friend added.
Right. And I like the friend couch. I like that whole idea.
Oh, the friendship bench.
The friendship bench. And I like how Ron is sitting with Rich and Savannah and everybody now, and then the teacher comes by like, oh, Barney, you got friends. I'm sorry, not Ron, Barney.
Yeah, Barney.
And he's like, oh, Barney, you got friends now. And then Barney just goes, and they all start making chicken noises. He's like, okay, walking away. He's got friends now. That's all that matters.
Right. Yeah, it's really well done for that. But yeah, we need to talk about the people that work for Bubble, which is the COO and the creator of the B-bot. Which the creator of the B-bot, Mark Weidel, is voiced by Justice Smith.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
I didn't realize it either. I gotta admit, I don't know. I know who Justice Smith is from the Get Down and all that, but I don't recognize his voice that much. But when I looked it up, I said, "Oh, okay, it fits."
Yeah.
And Rob Delaney, his voice definitely fits for.
Rob Delaney was perfectly cast for Andrew Morris, the evil CEO or COO.
Right. I love how in the beginning, because this is such like a Steve Jobsy thing to say if Steve Wozniak was the brainchild of Apple, where Mark was like, yeah, we came up with Bubble in my garage.
Yeah.
Yes, Andrew, thank you. In Andrew's garage. It just says in my garage. That's the only thing he said on stage. That was funny.
Yeah, I love how it basically we have the COO of Andrew Morris becomes more and more like comically evil throughout the movie. Like at first he's kind of like, we got to worry about, the company, and then we got to worry about the profits, and then
which is reasonable.
Right. And then it just goes to, we need to, make it so this is the only thing anybody will ever need in their life. And they become fully dependent on it. So they'll never be able to grow away from it. And we'll have them for life. And it's like, you are getting so comically evil, but at the same time, you're staying within the realms of reality with what CEOs and stuff really are aiming for.
Here's the point where it hit reality for me. When he was straight up like, he's like, I don't care about kids. I hate kids. I'm testing them to see what they like and so we could make products that they'll want to buy next Christmas. And I'm like, there it is right there. Yeah. That is a businessman. There it is. I thought that was a great line.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when he changed it from the B-bot is made to make friends to be your only friend. And it literally disconnects them from the network. So all they can see is themselves. So you have the one kid that's playing video games and he's just racking up the high scores because he's the only one he's playing against. The one girl that's streaming literally has 0 viewers, but she's, still streaming and stuff because there's nobody to stream to.
Wait a minute. He was playing against himself?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't see it when they were doing this was toward the end when Barney and Ron were in that one area and Ron's like, look, it's your not friends.
Oh man, that line made me so mad, but it was such a rich thing to say.
Yeah.
Like he says, well, we're not your friends. I was like, this man almost died. Like, come on, man, what are you doing? Like,
at least pretend for a minute. Come on.
But listen, man, that's that real emotion. Like, I think a rich in real life would say something like that. Well, we're not your friends, dude.
Yeah.
And he probably he wouldn't see it as an insult. He would just see it as, come on, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I loved when Ron repeated it was funny. Look, you're not friends.
Yeah, man. Yeah. This film has I think plot A is way stronger than plot B, but plot B is still pretty good. Like the plot B between Andrew and Mark for creative control over Bubble is cool, but plot A is just way stronger and just has way more of an emotional hold on you.
Right. The relationship between Ron and Barney it's strong. It works out in this movie. It's definitely one that it subverts a lot of tropes that you would expect this movie to have by being like, oh, look, it's going to be the perfect best friend. And it's like, no, they're learning from each other. He's literally teaching this robot how to be his best friend while simultaneously learning how to be a good friend himself so he can meet new people and be friends with them. And it's like, oh yeah, that sounds like a kid's movie. And then I'm over here chopping onions when Ron's uploading himself to the server to save the entire world of children. Yeah,
man. I don't know how to explain it, dude. Like, the film plays with your emotion really well. And, seeing the cover of the film, you think it's another Big Hero 6, which I haven't seen, but I heard is a pretty solid movie. But it proves itself to be something that's just very real and very very 3-dimensional.
Yeah, like when I first saw this movie and everything, I saw some people praising it. And I was like, okay, it's probably going to be fine. It's going to be a fine movie. It's based on the commercial, or not the commercials, the trailers I saw for it. I was like, okay, it looks like a run-of-the-mill, don't fall to technology kind of movie. It's okay. It looks like it's going to be fine. And it's like, okay, it's on Disney Plus. It's an easy one to watch. Let's pair it up with Mitchell's versus the Machines. It could combat each other with that. And then I came out of it going, okay, that was a surprisingly good movie. I don't think that movie deserved to be as good as it was.
Hey, same here. Those films fit so well together, though. Like Ron and Mitchell's and the Machines.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. This one, I don't know if I'll go with my gut. I give this 5 out of 5.
This one, it's a 5 out of 5. I can't think of anything that's really wrong with this one.
Yeah, I was trying to while we were talking. I was like, okay, it had the tropes, but those tropes weren't bad. Those tropes worked for the movie.
Yeah, it used the tropes to its benefit. It wasn't, every movie has tropes, but how far does it fall into them, and does it do anything with them? And this movie does stuff with those tropes.
And you know what I liked? I liked how Savannah didn't become the girlfriend. I liked how, because
there was no love interest. This was just about friends.
It looked like he was leaning that way at first. I was like, oh, well, okay. And why not give him the hot girl as a girlfriend? But it's like, no, she's a sincere friend. I almost thought it was going to be like he becomes friends with Savannah, but he low key goes for Ava, the science girl. But they didn't even go that way. And I was like, okay, that's keeping it honest. Okay.
Yeah.
That was true to Barney's character. He's not looking for a girlfriend right now. He's just looking for a friend.
Yeah, he just needed friends. He needed people in his life that he could relate to and interact with. because up until this point, he had his father who is busy working, selling his stupid inventions to people in China overseas. And then his grandmother, who is very old school Russian.
Yeah. Kind of sounds like Coraline. Coraline didn't really have any friends. You ever
Yeah, a
seen
little
Coraline?
bit.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
watched Coraline.
I know. I forgot.
Yeah.
We did watch Coraline. Well, she just had that weird kid next door. But like, yeah. Yeah, man, this film had a lot of heart, man. A lot of heart. If I gotta say what wins out, well, obviously for me, Ron's gone wrong. Mitchell's versus Machines, it didn't, I didn't chop any onions during that movie. I loved it, but Ron's Gone Wrong had more of an emotional pitch to me.
Oh, see, I had one moment where I was chopping onions with Mitchell's versus the Machines, and that's when she was going back with the camera and the moose and everything like that.
What scene?
After the parents had been captured by the robots and they were like, the kids were on their own, and she was going through the footage on her camera and stuff and found
that was
like
that
the
was
moose
a nice
and
scene.
stuff. Yeah, that one had me chopping onions a little bit. But yeah, when it comes to these two movies, they're both winners. And I'll leave it at that.
Nah, this is DFV. You got to pick one.
I'm gonna have to go with Mitchell's versus the Machines. That one is just, it's a full-on movie. That's one that I'll probably throw it on the background again at some point in the future. Considering this is now, I think, the third time that I've watched that movie since it came out. So it's definitely one that I hold into my pocket of best movies or top movies out there.
Yeah, it definitely is one of a kind. I'll give it that. It's a very good animated film. I can't believe I asked you, hey, have you seen Coraline? we talked about it. I forgot that we talked about it. Was through you I saw it for the first time.
I know. I'm the one that was pestering you to watch it and was eventually like, no, we're just doing it for an episode. We're doing Coraline in an episode to make you watch this.
Right. And we watched that with Nightmare Before Christmas, right?
Yes. Yeah, okay. I know you still didn't like that, but at the same time, I at least got you to finally watch Coraline, so I count it as a victory.
Right. All right, there it is. You seen anything lately?
I did finish Atlanta. So I finished watching the last 2 episodes of Atlanta, and that last episode was fantastic. I loved it.
Have you seen a film called Amelie or Amelie?
I don't think so. It's not striking memory. Was that a recent one?
No, it's from the 2000s. But that episode is kind of like an homage to it. Like it's a French comedy called Amelie. That episode with Van and her having a French accent and stuff was kind of like an homage to that film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a really classic movie. But yeah, man, I love the way it ended.
Oh yeah. Even with that weird cliffhanger showing the picture of the guy from those like kind of
anthology episodes.
Yeah, the anthology episodes.
Yeah, that is weird because they're saying that's like because they're saying like those episodes are kind of like dreams of Ern, and that's kind of like White Ern in that world. But I don't know, like that's kind of like a thing that's kind of up in the air, ambiguous.
Yeah, I was reading what some people thought it was, but it seems like Donald Glover hasn't made a statement on any of what it means.
It's definitely interesting.
Yeah, because even when people were like, were those like dreams of Ern, or were those like things that are going on in the US while Ern's over in, in Europe doing this stuff? And Donald Glover just said that it'll become clear in the future.
In the next season?
I assume he means in the next season, because it definitely didn't clear up this season. And this was prior to the season finale when he was saying that.
The first episode with the young boy and the crazy, white mothers, with white adoptive mothers, that was based on a real story, but the kids died in real life.
I knew that it was based on a real story, but I didn't remember the details from it.
Yeah, it took that episode to get me to look that up and say, man, that was a crazy crazy opening episode. But then I figured out that was based off the Hart family murders, where they drove them and the kids off a bridge, whereas in the episode, kids escaped. Dude, I love that one scene where this is how it is with some black folks. Well, this can be human nature as well. The kid just looks over at the other kids like, and the subtitles are like, we about to die.
Oh yeah.
Like, you don't think you don't think we know that? And then the one kid is like, sweet release. And the other kid's like, man, my hair itches. I love that scene, dude. Yeah, man.
The whole season as a whole, I loved it. It's so great. Seeing Ern and Paperboy and I'm trying to remember Lakeith Stanfield's character's name.
Alfred.
Yeah.
Alfred. I mean, no, Darius.
Darius, that's it. Seeing their like adventures going through Europe are great. I absolutely love it. Yeah.
I know a gripe some people have with it. I was fine with it because I know that I like Donald Glover's experimental style with storytelling. I like that. I like that with the album he came out with called Because the Internet, that was interspersed with a screenplay. I like his experimental style of storytelling, but some people were like, man, we didn't get enough of them in Britain. Like, what's up with all these anthology episodes? Like, I wanted to see, I know somebody was like, man, we waited 5 years for this. Like,
I could see some people being disappointed in it. I'm kind of glad I didn't do a rewatch of season 1 and 2 because this is such a shift from
would have been
season 1 and 2.
Wow, I'm not spending that much time with them.
Because I can see some people are later going to binge this series and they're going to get to this season and be like, what the hell was that? That was in Atlanta.
Yeah. I'll say this, dude. It did not come short of great TV. It definitely did push boundaries. Now, I think most episodes work better than others. I love the reparations episode. I love the episode with the kid who had the black dad but the white mom, but tried to pose as white until my man came and was like, I'll give a scholarship to anybody who could prove to me their blackness. And you go, oh shoot. I don't know.
So basically all the anthology episodes.
Right. Yeah. Well, I am talking about all the anthology episodes.
Okay, yeah.
I'm talking about like, I think more of them hit stronger than some hit stronger than others. Like the one about the Trinidad nanny, like that was just a straightforward, like heartwarming episode. Like you keep waiting for the ball to drop, like at some point, like they're in the church.
You're expecting some kind of twist. But there's no twist. It was just, this was a really nice, older lady that was babysitting people and kind of sharing her life experiences with those children she was babysitting.
Yeah, it's pretty much a straightforward episode. Now, I think that one hit hard. I think that one hit hard less than the other anthology episodes, but I thought a lot of them were pretty strong. And what was I about to say, dude? I was about to tell you something. Did you know that was Chet Hanks in that episode? The Trinidad one? That was Tom Hanks' son. Not Colin Hanks, the other one. The other one that people don't like.
I was not aware.
Yeah, that because he was talking to them and they said, "Are you Creole? Like you seem like you have like a New Orleans Creole slang." He says, "Nah, everyone says that." Chet Hanks ain't Creole, man. Tom Hanks is his dad. He's not Creole.
No.
But that's kind of his character in real life. But yeah, and I dude, I gotta admit, man, that Liam Neeson scene, it was great satire, but it kind of made me a little mad, like that because it starts off like I could tell the first part of it was really Liam, like him saying, "Man, I shouldn't have said that thing I said," and then Paperboy's like, "Dude, I'm just glad that you don't hate black people. I can't stand y'all. Y'all tried to ruin my career."
But you know what? It's such a real thing where like when some group of people is like, "No, we're going to cancel you because you made this weird off common thing." And it's like, well, now this is becoming real hatred because you're literally trying to ruin this person's life.
Right. And here was the gut punch. Well, I like before then he was like, well, until then, you and I are mortal enemies. And then Paperboy's like, wait a minute, man. Didn't you learn your lesson? He says, yeah, but thing about being white is it doesn't matter if you learn the lesson or not. And I was like, oh, like that gut punched me so much. I was like, oh my goodness, there's truth in that. That's why that line hurts.
Oh yeah. I think the perfect way of doing that was having Liam Neeson as that role too.
Yeah. I'm surprised he took it. Yeah, but I liked it. I like a lot of surprises. I like how Alexander Skarsgård comes out of nowhere in the
last episode. Yeah.
Right. That was weird. It was really weird they were serving human hands. That made no sense.
I do like when at the end of the episode when he comes out and is like, okay, where are those hands at? I'm hungry.
You could tell he was having a fun time.
Oh yeah, he was having a blast with that role. Don't you dare degrade me in front of people. You.
And then she smacks him, and they cut to him. They was on that scene a little too much when he was in the bathroom jerking off. They was leaning on that a little too much, but I thought that was funny.
I was cracking up at it. So I'm kind of glad that it lasted long enough for me to get the laughter out before I went to the next scene, because I would have had to go back and like rewatch an entire scene after that, because I would have still been just rolling.
Right. But it's easy to say, man. I can't wait for season 4, the last season.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've no notes. Just give me more.
Yeah, because I really feel like when it's all said and done, this is like a really great show. Like it really does push the boundaries of network television. Like I said, it succeeds more than it fails. But I like it. I like that I watched it all in one go, because I think if I watched this week by week, I like the anthology episodes, but I would have been a little thrown off. Like, oh man, where's Earn and Paperboy this episode?
Yeah, it was a little bit jarring, but each of the anthology episodes has something to love about them. Absolutely. Like whether it's based on something of reality or based on what people think is going to happen or based on just something that could happen. All of them are kind of they have weight to them, regardless of what the central focus was.
Mm-hmm. Definitely so. I finally finished Ozark. So
I still need to watch that one. I got through season 1. I still need to get further into it.
That's where I was at until a few weeks ago when I finally started getting into it. Ended pretty well, pretty well done ending. A little polarizing, the ending, but it fit. I watched Atlanta, Ozark. There was something I finished that I meant to tell you about. It wasn't Snowfall. It was Better Call Saul. Yeah, I caught up to Better Call Saul.
I think we talked about that last week.
We talked about it over text.
That's right. We talked about it over text.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what these next few episodes are, man. I'm excited. I really want them to cut back to present day on what happens between him and that guy, that cab driver. I need to know what happens.
They're going to show us the Gene timeline again. Of course they will. Gene's his name that's what his name tag is in his new personality.
Oh yeah, I know they're going to show it to us. I just want to see what's going to happen.
Oh yeah. I'm kind of hoping. So there's 2 scenarios that it's going to be. It's either going to be the mid-season finale or the mid-season after break is going to start off with the Gene thing, or they're going to wait until the very last episode to start off with a Gene moment.
It's best to wait until the last episode, though.
I almost think it is. I kind of almost want it to be half of a Gene episode and half of a lead into Breaking Bad episode.
Let's wrap up Lalo and Kim and Saul and what happened there, and how Gus is going to get out of this, because we know he's going to survive.
Yeah.
And let's wrap that up, and then let's get into the Gene timeline, because I feel like that would be a great. Like, I really feel like El Camino is a great epilogue to Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah,
because we see what happens to Jesse. I feel like it's a great epilogue to that terrific series, and I feel like the Gene timeline will be a great epilogue to this series.
Yes. Yeah, because right now the things that we are guaranteed because of Breaking Bad is we know Saul is going to live. We know Gus is going to live, and we know Mike is going to live. We know Lalo has to die, and that's about it. Everything else is kind of up in the air.
It is, and that's the trouble with preludes. You know, I'm sorry. This
prequels.
Is a prelude. Prequels. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Prequels. That's the trouble with prequels, because you're like, well, if this is a show where there's stakes involved, it's like I kind of know what's gonna happen. But I like how you got enough characters in this world that you care about, that you want to see where this goes with Kim, Lalo, Howard, Jimmy's brother Chuck. That you're like, okay, I wonder what happens to these people, you know, and it carries more emotional heft when, sad, unfortunate things happen to them.
Right. But at the same time, we know that Lalo is going to die and Mike is going to live. But what can Lalo do to Mike to hurt him, to put more context into Breaking Bad and the way that Mike acts? Because even in this show,
already there. Mike is already there, dog.
Well, in this show, we saw Mike make that step into who he is in Breaking Bad, where he had to kill the one German scientist.
Yeah, he really didn't want to do that.
And he didn't want to do it. And it shows his path to becoming who he is in Breaking Bad, where he's a little bit more, I don't want to say emotionless, but emotionless to those kind of circumstances. Like even when he's talking to Walt and he's like, no, I really don't want to do this, but I have to. And it's like, it puts more context into that scene where it's like, he really doesn't want to do it. But at the same time, he knows the people he's with and the people he works for, he has to do it.
Even with my man, and this is kind of late in the game, folks, but, spoiler alerts, if you don't know where you at, this is DFV. My man, what's his name? The guy that he went out on his own terms.
Oh, Nacho.
Yeah. Even with that, you see he was saddened by that. You know what I mean? Even though it was better for him, because he would have been tortured, bro. There's no doubt about it.
Oh yeah.
I love that shot where my man is like, listen, you're gonna die today, but there are good, easy, painless ways to die, and there are very painful ways to die. And I love that shot of all the tools and stuff. Like, dude, the directing of Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad is always top notch.
Oh, Vince is a master of his craft, is what it is. He absolutely knows what he wants, and he'll take the time to make sure he gets those shots exactly as they need to be. Yeah.
And probably the best episode of Better Call Saul this far, Bagman. That was a very intense, tough episode for him to film. But it looks so seamless when you watch it. Like you could tell this man takes crap. He takes
great pride in what he does.
Takes great pride, and he uses great craft in his directing as well as his writing. You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure. But that's it from us, guys. If you would be so kindly, like, share, and subscribe, engage with us. Let us know what you like. What film do you think wins out in this? Let us know.
Let Anthony know that he's wrong, and it was the Mitchells versus the Machines.
Look, man, we're gonna call this episode Brad's Gone Wrong, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. Y'all watching, can you honestly tell me, with all the emotion that Ron's Gone Wrong threw at you, you honestly telling me that's a less better film than Mitchells versus the Machines? Come on.
Yeah, what am I gonna do with all these onions I cut up during that movie? This is enough onions to last me the rest of the year. Where am I supposed to store that?
All right, y'all. We'll talk to you later. Follow us on IG and Twitter at Double Feature VS. We can find us on Facebook at Double Feature semicolon. Is it colon or semicolon? It's the colon. Right? For the Facebook, it's Double Feature colon versus, right?
I think it's just Double Feature versus. I don't think there's a colon.
I think there's a colon. But we'll have it in the description. All right, y'all take care.